What even is team offense? How's it going, everyone? My name's Colin Winters. I'm the host of Panthers Den. And yeah, this is a game that happened. A game that we should have won. That's right, we're going over to Week 5 loss to the Eagles 21-18. Because God is dead, and he hates Carolina. So, the Panthers lose in embarrassing fashion to the Eagles because of the fact that they couldn't have an offense go worth shit. Going straight into the offensive stats, just because I don't want to have to make this video any longer than I have to. The Panthers' offense played terrible. As much as my camera is terrible at focusing on my face. Also, don't mind the jersey. My second favorite team is Green Bay, and they were in overtime, so I put on my Green Bay jersey real quick after the game. And I'm recording immediately after Crosby kicked the winning field goal after missing a shit ton, but you got a Crosby jersey, have to wear it, yeah. The Panthers lost, and many of the reason why is 3 interceptions on Sam Darnold's part. Yeah. Sam went for 37 attempts in the passing game, 21 completions, 177 yards, 1 touchdown, but 3 interceptions. 2 of them to Darius Slay. 1 of them to a guy I don't remember the name of. But yeah, of course, I'm not going to tell Sam that he's the problem, of course. He's not the problem. Many of it was the fact that the offensive line couldn't pass protect for shit. So he had nowhere to go to. He was running for his life the entire time. So it's not his fault. The fans are going to call for his head, saying, bye-bye, Darnold. No, it's fucking stupid. I already looked at Instagram. There are already some people saying Darnold should be traded, Darnold should be cut. People who act like that the moment that he has a bad game with the Panthers are just fucking stupid. Like, he had a bad game. I already said before that we should look out for the Eagles' defense in the pregame video. Because their defense was underachieving. And it showed here where they achieved against the Panthers offense. Chuba Hubbard had a good day at least. He broke 100 yards with 24 carries for 101 yards. Shut the fuck up, car, I'm recording. Anyway, Sam Darnold went for 2 for 10 because he had to run for his life sometimes. Royce Freeman over 3 for 2, and then DJ had 1 rush that was for -4 yards. So hooray. And the receiving game, of course, with only 177 passing yards, you don't really have any receivers that are blowing out of the water. We had DJ Moore going 5 receptions for 42 yards. Ian Thomas 4 for 40. Chuba Hubbard 5 for 33. Robbie Anderson 2 for 30. Terrace Marshall Jr. going for 2 for 14. Tommy Tremble getting his first career reception touchdown. And he also had another reception. So it was 2 for 12. And then Royce Freeman had 1 for 6. The only bright spot for this game was the Panthers defensively. Except for unless you count the third and fourth quarter. Because apparently we can't stay within a game when it comes to the second half. Soneric had 6 tackles, 2 assisted, and 2 sacks on the day. Dante Jackson had a phenomenal game where he had 4 tackles, 2 assisted, 1 interception, and then 1 forced fumble that was picked up by Jeremy Chin. So Dante Jackson, of course we had Scott Fitterer saying, nothing we do with any player affects how we think about Dante Jackson, saying that we want to bring Dante Jackson back. This game is proof why. Just going down the list now, AJ Bouye 4, Sean Shan 3-1, Jeremy Chin 3-1, Keith Taylor 3-1, CJ Henderson 3, Jermaine Carter 2-1, Derek Brown 1-2, Sam Franklin 1-2, Julian Stanford 1-1, Brian Burns 1, Marquise Haynes 1, Daquan Jones 0-2, Davion Nixon 0-1, Bravian Roy 0-1, and then that would be it. When it came to kick returns, we had Alex Erickson actually had a few good returns. Overall, he had 3 returns that equal for 100 yards for a 33.3 yard average. Not bad at all. When it came to punt returns, it was also all right. 3 returns for 39 yards, equaling a 13 yard average. When it came to kicking, Zane Gonzalez was 3 for 3, and then made all the 1 extra point. So, also important to note that the Panthers really didn't cause a safety, but we got a safety because of the fact that the Eagles had a high snap over Jalen Hurts' head, and then they just, even though it was a missed opportunity for a touchdown that really could have turned the tide of the game, it ended up being a safety because it was just batted out of the back of the end zone, which turns into a defensive safety. When it came to punting, Zane Gonzalez actually punted once. It was a fake field goal where he just punted the ball, pooch punt, and it still ended up being a touchback. So I don't know what the issue is, but punt blocking has seeming to be very none recently, very nil. Joseph Charlton had a punt that was blocked, which was the turning point of the game, which allowed them to take the lead, and then they just kept the lead after that. It was just a terrible play, terrible blocking. There was pretty much nothing that stopped the dude who came in and blocked it with his arm, and after that, it was just recovered by the Eagles, and that's the end of that story. That's how we lost. It was the play of the game. Their defense had our offense pretty much locked down. Our defense was starting to get tired, of course, because once you have your offense able to do nothing and just punts back to the other team's offense all day, you tend to get a little bit fucking tired, don't you? Yeah. So our defense, of course, just starting to fucking crumble. Looking at Eagles team stats now, we're going to have Jalen Hurts, who had 37 attempts and 22 completions, 198 yards, and then 1 interception on the day, and no touchdowns. Miles Sanders was 11 carries for 45 yards. Jalen Hurts, 9 carries for 30 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Kenneth Gainwell, the rookie, for 2 for 16 in the rushing game. When it came to their receiving game, it was mostly Devonta Smith, who had 7 for 77. Then Quez Watkins, 3 for 48. Dallas Goedert, 2 for 28. Jalen Reagor, 3 for 24. Gainwell for 1 for 8. Zach Ertz, 1 for 7. And then Miles Sanders, 5 for 6. And then the Eagles defense, which absolutely shit-stomped the Panthers offense, pretty much held them to jack shit. And awfully caused 3 fucking turnovers. Steven Nelson was the man who picked it off the third and final time. But after that, it's Alex Singleton, had 8 tackles, 5 assisted. Then going down, Marcus Epps, 5-3. Denard Avery, 3-4. Davion Taylor, 3-1. Darius Slay, 3-0, but 2 interceptions. Josh Sweat, 2-3, 1 sack. Derek Barnett, 2 for 1. Anthony Harris, 2 for 1. Steven Nelson, 2-1, 1 interception. Javon Hargrave, 1-2, and then 1 sack. TJ Edwards, 1-2. Fletcher Cox, 1-1, 1 sack. Avonte Maddox, 1-1. Teron Jackson, 1. Ryan Kerrigan, 1. Rodney McLeod, 0-4. Milton Williams, 0-1. Eric Wilson, 0-1. And then after that, pretty much nothing there. On a kick return, Jalen Reagor had a good punt return, but after that, it wasn't too much. Kick returns also were all right. For kicking, Jake Elliott was 2 for 2, so he was fine. And then in their punt game, there was a few bad punts, but then there was also one really good punt that was inside the 20. So you take what you can get when it comes to your punting, because their punting definitely went a lot better than ours did, right? Looking at team stats altogether, they won total yards with 273 to our 267, so very close. Passing yards, 182 to 158. Their rushing yards, 91 to our 109. And then yards per play, there 4.5 to 3.8. That really switched in the second half, because we were dominating that in the first half just because we held their defense to 6 points. So after that, our defense just kind of crumbled because they just got too tired to keep going. Because for first downs, they had 17, we had 18. Third down efficiency, they were 5 for 13, we were 5 for 15. Fourth down efficiency, they were 0-1. We never had it for it. We never went for it on fourth down. For total plays, 61 to 70. Sacks allowed, we had 2 sacks on them. They had 3 sacks because Hassan Reddick got 2 sacks on the day. Sacks allowed, we already went over that. Punts, it was 6 for 7. For penalty yards, penalties started with the Eagles committing all of them, but then suddenly, for some reason, the Panthers just started to get fucking panicky and were like, oh god, I don't know what to do, which ended up in 9 for 69. That's not nice. There's no nice in that 69. No, that's terrible. Fumbles lost 0. We ended up getting one, making them fumble and not losing it. Interceptions thrown. We got an interception, but guess what? They got 3. And then time of possession, we had the ball way longer than they did, and they still did more with it. So yeah, the Panthers ended up losing this game in a very embarrassing fashion. They lost steam at the end of the fourth quarter, and honestly, this is just a game that they should have won because they pretty much gave it away at the second half. We had them pinned. We had them in a place exactly where we wanted them. All we had to do was start moving the ball a little bit more effectively to keep time running off the clock and give the defense a little bit more rest between drives. But we just couldn't do that. The Carolina offense was completely stagnant, and honestly, I'm upset, but I couldn't say that I was surprised. I said in the pregame that I wouldn't be surprised if this was an upset win, because the Eagles are underachievers. They're not really bad. By the way, I think that'll be the end for this video. There's no really other way to put it other than that this is a disappointing loss. Panthers fall to 3-2 on the season, and the Eagles advance to 2-3. We'll have to try to pick it up again next week, even though I feel like this is going to be another tough matchup that we're not expecting. And either way, I'm Colin Winters. This is the Panthers Den, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya. What is wrong with our fan base? It's only a few hours after the game. I've chilled. I've been letting the clips load in my editor so I can get the video out. But holy shit, it was worse than I thought. I said that they were going to call for heads for no reason just because it was a bad game. But holy fuck. What is wrong with the Panthers fan base on Instagram specifically? Because that's where I get most of my Panthers news from. It's Instagram. Because I follow all Instagram fan accounts and the official account for the Panthers. And then after that, I'll do my research on Google. But right now, holy fuck, Panthers fans, Calm down. We don't need Cam back. We're not going for Deshaun Watson. We're not cutting everyone on the O-line. Look, they played a bad game, but guess what? It's your fault for underestimating the Eagles' defense. The Eagles' defense is good and underachieved. So guess what? Now that we encountered a good defense, and last week we encountered a good offense, now our young team is going to be better because they're going to learn. They're going to learn. They got their asses kicked offensively, and now they're getting their asses kicked defensively. So guess what? They can learn from this experiment. They are a young as goddamn shit team. We just need them to learn. Stop freaking out. Stop calling for everyone's goddamn head. Like, good God. Everything, every comment is, Sam Darnold sucks. Sam sucks. Cut Sam. Get Cam back. I miss Cam Newton. It's like, look, I miss Cam Newton too. Mostly because he was a good personality for our team. But guess what? Sam Darnold is going to do more for us than Cam could. Cam is washed. Accept it. Like, for fuck's sake, you can't ask for a better mindset from Sam Darnold. He took the defeat from last week and said, we just need to bounce back. And guess what? He's going to have the same mindset going into next week. He got his ass reamed by this Eagles defense, and Sam Darnold is not the type of person to pout, whine, and do all the shit that the fan base is doing. But no, he's going to come back, and he's going to start slinging that rock against our next opponent. So guess what? You, as fans, are going to have to support him because we are putting our bets on Sam Darnold. Stop calling for his head because he's had 2 bad games. And guess what? The Cowboys game wasn't even a bad game. Yeah, he threw 2 picks, but he counteracted that with 2 touchdown passes in the 4th. He came back. He tried to do his best. He did his damnedest to win for us in the Cowboys game. But guess what? It just didn't work out. This time, it was our defense crumbling in the second half and the fact that we couldn't punt block worth the damn shit and do. It sucked. We get it. Bad game. Stop calling for a riot. Calm down, Panthers fans.